Hi there, I'm Eshaan M reporting for Kids First, and I am super hyped for this interview. Today I'll be speaking with Mr. Hunter West and Miss Jennica Schwartzman. Mr. West is an award-winning film director with numerous commercials and films under his belt. His debut feature film, Ridge Runners, has been screened in festivals across the country. Miss Schwartzman is a SAG-actress, writer, and PGA-producer who has starred in various films including Parker's Anchor and Mr. West's short film, Ridge Runners. We'll be chatting about their newest film, The Christmas Challenge, today. Thank you so much, both of you, for speaking with me today.
Oh, Sean, is our pleasure.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Of course. All right, so Hunter, where did you get the idea for the Christmas challenge?
Yeah, so as you probably know, these Christmas romance movies are everywhere during the Christmas season, and I, of course, have watched them with parents and grandparents for years. We, grab hot cocoa, and after a day of shopping or whatever we were doing, we'd sit down and watch one. And so I've always found them really interesting because they bridge gap between generations. So grandparents, kids, parents, all can watch everything together. And so we wanted to do something together for a long time. And we thought with this movie, we would just cram every Christmas tradition that there could be into one movie. So that's where the idea came from.
Awesome. And yeah, the premise of a podcast studio, or I guess a podcast host as a protagonist, is pretty interesting. So, Jenica, how did playing the role of a podcast host challenge you? And are you an avid podcast listener?
I am an avid podcast listener. I love listening to podcasts. I do some voiceover work as an actress, and just getting in the studio between me and Zach Gold, who plays opposite me, the fun we got to have in the podcast studio was more
Too
than enough
much,
for
too much for me.
it translated to screen joy and the chemistry because I really just enjoyed doing the podcast. If anything, I think that I'm inspired to do more of that. It was fun to see from that side what it's like to care and think about listener engagement, picking subjects and topics that your audience would really want to listen to, and something that you and your producer could riff about for a lot of time. So it was really fun. I liked that part a lot.
Hunter, how did you ensure this film stood out from other holiday offerings?
The whole podcast theme, like that's really in right now. I think you can't go anywhere without seeing more podcasts pop up. We wanted to be current with that, but also there are so many different Christmas traditions that people have, and usually you get to focus on a few. And with this one, we had the opportunity to do 25 days of Christmas, and so just showcasing, some ones that people normally have, and then we talked to each other and figured out ones that maybe our families just had, and tried to incorporate those as well.
Awesome. I love that little personal touch that, was kind of added. That's great. And I'm sure that'll be a really special part of the film. And Jenica, what's the most special part of making a holiday film?
Oh, well, the feeling on set was really special because we all had to dress up. And the whole point of the movie is finding that Christmas spirit within all of these activities that bring you closer to people you love, bring you closer to your community, help you step outside of your ideas and norms, and help you try new things. And each person, each character celebrated these traditions different. And so seeing how one character would do it versus another character as actors, especially during a movie COVID, you don't really get to rehearse together. So we got to see a lot of those things play out on set. And so then a lot of stories came about. Hunter sharing about his family. A lot of us have kids. A lot of us have big families and a long love of Christmas movies. So we just got to have that really sweet seasonal togetherness. Like it was like a cold winter together. It did actually snow. So that
Did
was cool.
Oh, wow.
So it felt like we had an additional Christmas season that year, and it feels special celebrating that now.
Yeah, we shot the movie in Nashville, which doesn't normally get a ton of snow, and we got a big snowstorm the first week of March, and so it's kind of like, thank you,
Yeah.
Wow.
sets decorated, we're good.
That's amazing. And Hunter, how did you grow from making the Christmas challenge?
So this was a big crew. Like Jennica said, we shot it in the middle of the pandemic, and there were a lot of rules in place to keep everybody safe. And that was very challenging, to be honest. Filmmaking is such a very close medium. I mean, actors are this close to each other. Crews have to be really close to each other, and trying to do that and still keep everybody safe was a very big challenge. Communicating through masks and shields was a challenge, and then trying to, you want to be as when you're close together, you don't want to be there for 14 hours, which is sometimes how movies can be shot. And so we were there for 10 hours a day. And so we had to shoot everything faster than we normally would. And so I think, us completing a film together with our team under all those constraints just showed how cohesive our unit was.
It definitely is. It's something. It's special to kind of like pull something together, even despite the odds and despite all the crazy adversity that's faced. And filmmaking is hard. Hold on, real quick. Sorry, filmmaking is hard anyway, even under the best circumstances. And so throwing in an extra layer on top of that was definitely challenging. Definitely, but I think you guys overcame it and overcame it well, which is great. Now let's talk about Jennica, your character Laura Ross. So how is your character different from and similar to you? And it was just one thing each.
Laura has a podcast called The Modernly Independent, and she really focuses on embracing and breaking down stigmas of being independent and doing things alone. I feel like I identify with how strong-willed and independent she is. But the ways that we're different is that it's easier for me to open up to connecting to people differently and step outside of myself and try new things. And I think that was really hard for Laura to get there.
And what was the most challenging part of playing Laura?
Well, I would probably say COVID made things a little difficult, and so we didn't get to connect as much as I would have loved to in other ways. But I think overcoming and being able to spend the time being present and taking care of every single shot in as little amount of time as possible. I feel like it was just a really difficult shoot for those reasons, but all the holiday connectedness and closeness really made up for it. So I would say it didn't draw back. It just really forced us to grow and be really good communicators.
Yeah, there were days where Jennica had to shoot 10, 11 different scenes because of how we shot it. And so kind of keeping track of all that.
And all the lines back to back, all the different podcasts. It was close quarters.
And speaking to your co-star through headphones, you guys weren't even in the same room.
Yeah, having a romantic chemistry across a glass wall from the character Paul was, it was fun. Acting challenges are kind of part of the fun. Is you want to do something new and you want to be pushed to you don't want it to be easy sometimes.
Yeah. And Hunter, this is your second project working with Jennica, right? It was your short film and then this. So how did the dynamic that you had with, your awesome actress help you or impact your process of putting together the whole film?
Yeah, so Jennica auditioned just randomly for me about 7 years ago. And so we've just kept a friendship going, and she's very easy to work with. We communicate really well. I think we kind of like the same things.
Yeah.
And so it's easy to talk and communicate, which is the biggest part of filmmaking, is trying to get on the same page and figure out ideas with each other. When you find people like that and they're right for the project, you just want to do all your projects with your friends.
And it's nice because when you have mutual respect for each other, you can challenge each other. Hunter is not afraid to tell me the truth because we're friends, but have a real foundational friendship. And I feel like as a director, it means a lot to hear the truth and not feel like I have to interpret but what do you really mean? What do you want me to do better? I feel like that type of mutual respect makes it a really positive work environment because we all get to grow and we all get to be, challenged in a good way.
Yeah.
We all get to be better at our jobs as we grow older.
Well, thank you both so much for chatting with me today. It's been such fun. And yes, everybody, please do go and watch the Christmas Challenge. You can watch it starting in November through Up Faith and Family's premier streaming services and rolling out on other platforms starting November 22nd, 2022. This is Eshaan M from Kids First. Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss my next interview or review or those of my Kids First teammates. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the movies. Bye.